I was looking at what it's like to walk around with the computer and record at the same time, and it's kind of freaky. So now I'm just making a video where I show you guys. Look at all those DVDs! Oh my god! So many DVDs. There's a cat. Rochester! Yeah. Okay, so that's a lot of DVDs. I was actually going into the other room where the light is better, so... whoa! Okay, here we go. Here we go. So this is really bright in here. Also, look at all those books on film, oh god. Ew. So many books! Okay. Have I read them all? No. Here's Lauren Bacall. Everybody loves Lauren Bacall. What a lovely lady. I have to move that over. It's actually next to a Casablanca poster, so it's kind of sweet. Okay, now I'm sitting. Oh, whoa, hold on. If you didn't see We Are Best this year, I don't know what your problem was, and you should try to find it, because they really are best. So now I'm sitting. My hair's kind of a mess because I'm getting it done today, so I apologize. But, so I had this thought. Well, I have a lot of thoughts. But I was thinking specifically that I have a lot of thoughts about films, and then, damn it, hair. And then, usually what happens is I call my mom and I tell her all these thoughts, and then they're gone. And then, I go to write about the films, and I've already, like, said everything. So, okay, specifically, the other day I watched An Officer and a Gentleman, and I sort of said everything I had to say to my mom, and then instead of writing about it, and I guess there's just something about talking about a film that is really fun and really allows yourself to explore things that maybe trying to put it on paper stifles. So it's my cat meowing. He's a co-star, I guess. So, well, I tweeted a little bit about Officer and a Gentleman, where I thought, I just really wanted to watch G.I. Jane the whole time I was watching it. So just, watch An Officer and a Gentleman to check it off your list, and then Louis Gossett Jr. is great, and then go watch G.I. Jane and see a lady kick ass and take names. Several ladies, actually. It's a great film. But, what I was thinking is, if you've seen the film, it's Deborah Winger and Richard Gere, and he's going to be the officer that he's in training. That's sort of the plot, and he's this, like, broken white dude, and she comes in and, like, gives him the will to be better than he is, and then, boom, he becomes an officer, spoiler alert, and literally picks her up from the factory she works in and carries her off into God knows where. And, it's a grand, romantic, sweeping gesture, but it's also a load of horse shit. And the main point of all of the women's lives in this film is to marry an officer. Like, that is their goal in life. It's the only way to get out of the shit that they live in. And do they focus on that ever in the movie? No. Do they explore, like, at one point the women talk about it. They're like, yeah, we gotta find an officer, that's our lives. And they say it like it's a sentence, and that's it, and you're done. And you don't actually go deeper, you don't find out why it is this way, you don't find out what happened to this society that all the women are working in a factory, and that they aren't given any other thoughts in life other than find yourself an officer, girls. And it's like, that would have been a really interesting film. That would have been a story that would catch my attention. That would have been a story that would have been a little different than another story about a broken white dude who needs a woman to fix him, because that's been done. We don't need another. I know this was 30 years ago, but 30 years ago we didn't need another movie like that. Like, fuck. And Deborah Winger is so great. And she was nominated for Best Actress, and one, that was a supporting role. End of story. And two, she, her character didn't get to do anything. Her character was completely there just to move Richard Gere's characters forward. And I love Richard Gere. He's super hot. He wears tight pants really well, especially in the 80s. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate that most of his movies have a shot of that butt. And so you can just stare at it and maybe pause it for a little bit. But her character deserved more than just to advance his plot line, you know what I mean? She could have been a really interesting character, and instead she was like this 1D, you know, she got one good moment where she got to tell him he was an asshole, and then the very next moment they're still dating, and I'm just like, he didn't learn in that 1 second. Like, that is such bullshit. So that's my thoughts on An Officer and a Gentleman. Although that movie did give us the song Up Where We Belong, which is great, and Jennifer Warnes and Joe Cocker need to do 80s. They need to do movie songs again. Like, what happened to these grand sweeping movie songs during credits? Like, can we have that back? Please. So then last night, this video is getting long now, I'm sorry. Last night I watched something new, which is directed by Sanaa Hamri, and it was written by, oh my god, Chris something or other. And I'm looking it up right now, oh god. Two women of color. And Sanaa Hamri did a bunch of music videos. Like, look her up. She's fucking fantastic. Chris Turner, who also wrote on, like, Sister Sister and all kinds of great stuff. Bernie Mac Show. Dude. So, okay. That was her only screenplay, which is a bummer, or feature screenplay, because she's really great. And Sanaa Lathan is the lead, and she's one of the best female characters I've seen in a long time, because she starts out really, they tell you in screenwriting to really give your characters like huge flaws that they can work on or that you can exploit, and that's how you get great conflict. And this character is like, she's a piece of work. Like, a couple of people tell her that in the movie, because she really is, and she, you know, is from her childhood, and you get a little pieces of it here and there, and you realize her parents didn't mean to turn her into what she is, but they kind of did, and it just feels really natural how they describe how she became who she was, and also how she was who she was, and then how she sort of morphs from what she is to at the beginning to where she becomes at the end, and her journey as a woman is just really beautifully done. But then the film also, so it's a romantic comedy, and it hits all the nice, you know, the cute meat and the resistance and the getting together and then the fighting and then the breaking up and then the, you know, someone else popping in and you're like, oh shit, she's gonna choose the wrong guy. But instead of some outward force telling her she's chosen the wrong guy, she really observes for herself and makes her own decision, and that's the journey she has to go through. She's doing everything for herself, and she finally, she was doing everything that her friends wanted her to do, or her mom wanted her to do, or her parents wanted her to do, and she finally, or that she thought society wanted her to do, and she finally gets the courage to just do what she wants to do, or to actually find out what she wants to do. And I think a lot of women get stuck in that cycle of not knowing who they are, not knowing what they like, not knowing what they are, not in relation to anybody else, but in relation to themselves. And this was one of the few movies I've seen where they really go into that, and they really show her realizing that she doesn't know who she is, and she doesn't know what she wants, and she has to really think about it for herself. And it's a really beautiful film. And then so it's got that great romantic comedy stuff, but it also has a lot of great stuff about her as a single black woman, and having to deal with race and what society tells her she should want, but then also just as a working black professional who is treated really horribly, even though she's like one of the most educated, smart, perfect people for the job she's in. She's an accountant, and people don't trust her because she's black, and it was really hard to watch, but felt really true. Like I've seen stuff like that happen, and it would have been interesting to have a whole movie just on that work side, but I guess probably few people want to sit and watch that, which is a shame. So you had to marry it with the romantic comedy, but then you get Simon Baker being really hot, and at one point he paints her toenails. I don't really know what else you need in a movie. Also, he has like a golden retriever dog, so like basically he's a golden retriever and the dog's a golden retriever, and she gets both of them. Spoiler alert, and it's beautiful. And there's my cat. I don't know what he's doing. Okay, we're hitting 10 minutes, so I'm gonna end. Please leave comments, because I never get comments, and that makes me sad. And I will try to record videos for most of the movies I see, because that's, I think, the best way for me to express what I have to say about films. I'm going to see a documentary by Chantal Ackerman on Pina Bausch tonight, and I'll probably record a video about that. So enjoy your weekend. And there's my cat one more time. Rochester! Kitty! He's not going to say goodbye. I'll say goodbye for him. Meow!